Yo, Shedeur Sanders really had one of the craziest draft weekends of all time, bro. He really went from being a top 3 pick during the season and just a couple months ago to now being a 5th round pick. You know what's crazy? I had a feeling that something like this was going to happen. I made a couple videos in the past asking like, why do people think that Shedeur is a 2nd or 3rd rounder? That is crazy. And people were in the comments saying, bro, what are you talking about? Where are you getting this information from? But if you think about it, a month before the draft, they were already coming out with theories that he has character problems or he's too cocky. They were already trying to blackball him. Like, if you really paid attention to the media during the draft process, you wouldn't really be surprised about him slipping past the 1st round. Now, the 5th round, that is crazy. Nobody expected that. When you really sat there and watched that draft, though, it felt like with every pick, they were trying to quote-unquote humble him. They were picking players that weren't even top 7 at their position. Mind you, not even a month ago, he was just considered a top 3 quarterback. By some, he was considered the #1 quarterback. To me, it gotta be either one or two things. One, like I said before, they were trying to humble him and his whole family, or two, he just wasn't as good as we thought he was. And it can't be number 2. Like, I refuse to believe that it's number 2, bro. Who was Travis Hunter getting the ball from? Shedeur Sanders. They had, what, 5 receivers drafted from Colorado? Who was throwing the ball to all 5 of them, bro? Come on. He might have had some flaws, yeah, but we seen the pure talent that he had. There wasn't no flaws that he couldn't clean up at the NFL level. So there is no way it could have been a talent thing. So that just leads me to think of one thing. They were trying to use him as an example and humble him for some reason. They just don't like his dad. I don't know. Remember, another thing could have been his quote-unquote cockiness and attitude. But bro, let's look back at it. There are quarterbacks that had way worse attitudes than him and were way cockier than him. And I'm going to name 2 right off the top of my head. Baker Mayfield and Johnny Manziel, but they were still 1st round draft picks. Teams didn't have any problems with them being very high and confident in themselves, so I don't get it. Like, it was reported that the Giants gave up on Shedeur after he showed up to a meeting unprepared, and when Brian Dable called him out on it, he didn't like it, and Brian Dable didn't like that he didn't like it. Now, is this true? Nobody would know, but that is just one team. That doesn't explain him going in the 5th round, bro. When Jackson Dart came off the board first, it was like, okay, cool. They probably just liked him a little more. But when Tyler Shuck came off the board before Shedeur, it was like, come on, bro. What are we doing? Are we trolling? Like, this the QB that came off the board before him? Now, don't get me wrong, Tyler Shuck is a really good QB, but we all know damn well Shedeur was supposed to go off before him. Like, come on, dude. Then Jalen Murrow went off, and it was like, whoa, 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 what's going on? But at the same time, it was like, I mean, that's reasonable to some people, you feel me? But the last straw was when they picked Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel, I got nothing against Dylan Gabriel. I feel like he's a great quarterback. But they picked him before Shedeur, bro. It was like, yeah, bro, it's obvious at this point. Then the Browns went ahead and drafted him after already drafting Dylan Gabriel, which didn't make sense to a lot of people. At this point, y'all already have 5 QBs on the roster. And it looked like they didn't even really want him. Just look at their reaction when he got drafted.
In regards to Shedeur and Deion's not going to interfere. He's not going to be calling the coach. He's not going to be commenting about Shedeur while he's in Colorado. Lou, I think there's a lot of just...
You can see it all on their face and their energy. They didn't even really want to draft him. So my question is, why did they draft him? And I said this before, I feel like Shedeur was better off signing as an undrafted free agent than getting drafted by the Browns. Like, I feel like they're going to do him wrong. I could just feel it, bro. But with the kind of QB Shedeur is, I feel like he can go into Cleveland and win out this QB1 job. Or at least be a backup, at the least. I ain't gonna lie, the most messed up part about this whole process was him getting prank called, bro. Like, I couldn't watch the clip. It was just so embarrassing. That's messed up, bro.
Man,
no, for sure.
We're gonna take you with our next pick right here, man.
Yeah, yes, sir. Let's be legendary.
Yeah, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Ready to go!
What does that mean?
What? What did he say?
I don't know.
How you gonna ask us what it means and you was on the phone?
You heard that?
You said you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
Sorry about that.
Why did he call?
What the fuck?
Hey, that's fucked
I
up.
don't know what that was. It's 50-50. But nobody got this number though.
It was private.
Huh?
Did they just troll, bro?
It can't.
Man, he just got trolled, bro. They tripping now, fam. Now I'm gonna crash out, bro.
They ended up apologizing not long after, but that wasn't cool. These are one of the most special days of these young athletes' life. For you to do something like that, you just got no respect. And he wasn't the only one it got done to. But I mean, I hope Shedeur uses that weekend as nothing but drive and motivation, because that had to be one of the worst weekends, bro. Like, who wants to go through that? Now I'm rooting for him on a whole nother level, because the way they treated him, what can they say when he becomes one of the best QBs in the NFL? What are they going to say then? Man, let me know what y'all think about this situation. Was it messed up or did he deserve it?